If you're in the LEGO community and have been living under a rock, you may have some strong opinions when I tell you that there's going to be a live-action Ninjago movie coming out in 2026. I'm just as curious as you are because I can already tell this movie has a huge range of definitely possible results. It could be atrocious or amazing, but it'll most likely just end up being an enjoyable but forgettable film like a lot of the Disney live-action remakes. And FYI on my stance on the LEGO Ninjago movie as a lifelong Ninjago fan is that I genuinely enjoy it. That's probably because going into it, I didn't want or expect it to be aligned with the lore from the show. I knew it would be more like a love letter to Ninjago fans, and while it could have been executed a little bit better, I still thought the movie was a lot of fun. My only complaint is that I wish there was a bit more focus on the other ninjas, as it seemed like there were only 2 characters in this movie at times. But since this new movie is said to have the original writers of Ninjago guide the script, a lot of people have their predictions for what this movie can be and how that's probably a remake of the pilots or season 1. But today, I'm gonna go through what I'd personally like out of this movie. So without further ado, here's my wish list for the upcoming 2026 live-action Ninjago movie. Number 1, make it PG-13. With the original writers being brought in, I think it's fair to say that this movie will want to appeal to Ninjago's OG audience as at least part of its target market. With that in mind, I don't think it's outrageous to hope that this movie has a lot less kiddie tendencies than previous LEGO movies. I'm sure that would do terrible numbers at the box office, and I think this movie has a high bomb potential anyway, but I definitely want this movie to be tailored to an older general audience than the original movie and even the show itself. Not to say I don't think the movie will be good if it's meant for elementary age viewers, but I think this movie could be outstanding if it's a lot darker, more mature, and that PG-13 rating gives way for a much wider range of jokes that, let's be honest, OGJ would definitely make. The next thing I want to see is a huge focus on Nia. With Lloyd, Garmadon, and Wu taking like 90% of the lines in the movie, the other ninja could have been taken out of the movie and not much would have changed outside of Lloyd's leadership improvements. That means that not only did Misako have more lines than any of our favorite characters in the show, but there was a very disproportionate gender representation in the movie. I know I could go down a very controversial rabbit hole here if I go deeper into this topic, but I think we can all agree that things should be a bit different. That's why I think Nia should definitely be the second or third main character in the movie. Not only would that be better in terms of representation, but I also think that could make the plot super interesting, especially if the movie is a season 1 remake. Imagine seeing how and why Nia became Samurai X, and just in general seeing that mech on screen a bunch. Another thing I hope to see in this movie is a much longer runtime. The Ninjago movie is a pretty standard hour and 41 minutes, but it seems like a lot of the best movies these days are a lot longer, and I think that would definitely benefit this movie. If it's being made for true fans of the show instead of trying to introduce general LEGO fans to Ninjago like the old movie did, then there are going to be a lot of subsections of the movie's audience who have a different favorite character. I think a longer runtime offers a lot more opportunity for, say, a Kai fan, who is probably the most common favorite character among OG fans. The first movie really only gave a lot of cool moments for Lloyd, Garmadon, and Wu, and while each of the ninja had good moments once they unlocked their powers, they didn't mean anything because there wasn't any character development that paid off there. If the movie is longer, then every character has the potential to have at least the semblance of an arc, which would be so cool. I'm realizing now that I said at the start of the video that I liked the Ninjago movie, but I've done nothing but bash it since. I promise I like the movie. Kind of a weird request on this next one, but I hope that the movie brings back the original voice actor for at least one of the characters, particularly the main villain, because it's likely to be either Garmadon or Pythor, who would definitely use heavy amounts of CGI, so the physical actor could definitely be different than the voice actor. I think if Pythor is in the movie, then it would be especially cool to see Michael Dobson reprise his iconic role. And it's not like this is completely out the window. I mean, Disney did it with Mufasa, RIP James Earl Jones, and DreamWorks is going to do it with Gerard Butler. I don't want all the actors to be the same, especially because that definitely wouldn't work age-wise, but I think keeping at least one could be super cool. And one last wish to end this quick little video, accept unrealistic expectations like me hoping I get to play Jay. It's not fully out of the question, Mom! They're probably not done casting! I would actually like to see some Lego sets out of this. I've actually seen some people on YouTube say they don't want Lego to make sets from this movie, and while it would probably be more of a cash grab than anything, I think it'd be really cool to have a live action version of the characters in Lego form too. And if anything in the movie is something that comes from the show, then it'd be super cool to compare it to the sets from the show. I know Legacy already happened for a lot of them, but imagine if we finally get a massive Great Devourer set from this movie. Surely that's an objectively awesome thing, right? Alright, well I know this video is a bit shorter than my other ones, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless, and I might try to make some more of these shorter-ish videos in the future. Have a great day, fellas, and I'll see you all next time here on Brickwave.